top 10 first baseman for the 2026 season. This is a projection list, and we're using numbers from the past season, the past 3 seasons, from their careers, and projections for the 2026 season to make this list. Now, our number 10 first baseman for the 2026 season is Jonathan Aranda of the Tampa Bay Rays. He was one of the best hitting first basemen in the entire league last season, and he carried the Rays lineup and was really a guy that I would be comfortable with having as the best hitter on my team. That said, it was his breakout year. It's not like we've seen him play like this for his whole career, and he did also get injured about halfway through the year, which did limit his production overall. If you look at what he did last year though, 146 WRC plus, looks like an elite hitter. Projection though for 2026 is a 120 WRC plus, which is a good hitter, but not that same level of elite. So do we really expect him to repeat what he did last year? The projections don't. That said, the metrics that I really care about, his expected WOBA, his hard hit percentage, his average exit velocity, those were all really good last year, and I think those seem to indicate that he should exceed his projections. So the question is, was 2025 an outlier season, or is this the new Jonathan Aranda? Is this what we can expect from him moving forward? Now, our number 9 first baseman for the 2026 season is Bryce of the New York Yankees. He had a 133 WRC plus last year and actually was a very unlucky hitter. So having a 130 WRC plus in your first full season, really, and just, the metrics being good and the luck being bad last year, and surely that's going to be better this year, I think he's in for a really good season in 2026. Now, the number 8 first baseman on our list is Willson Contreras, now of the Boston Red Sox. Now, this is a bit of a bold take when you look at the projections, but the past 4 years, he's had a 124 WRC plus, a 141, a 127, and a 134. So I would expect that WRC plus to stay at least above a 125, honestly. He has had some trouble staying healthy, but I think just playing first base will make it a little bit easier for him to stay healthy than what it has been in the past for him trying to catch. Then you also have to factor in that he's really good at defense at first base, which I know we don't care about defense at first base that much, but we care about it some. Question is though, what is he actually going to hit like? Is it going to be what the projections say, below 120 WRC plus? Is it going to be what we saw from him in 2024, which is like a 140 WRC plus? Because that's a great hitter. That's going to move him way up this list. It's going to just kind of be the average of what we've seen over the past 4 years, 125-ish WRC plus. That kind of puts him about right here at this number 8 spot. That's where we're going to leave him for now. At number 7 first baseman for the 2026 season, we have Busch of the Chicago Cubs. He was a top 5 first baseman last season. He had 3.5 WAR and a 140 WRC plus. He's very similar to Aranda in that it was his first season with a WRC plus over 120. And so the question is, can he get back over that mark? I personally think he's going to have no problem getting over a 120 WRC plus. I don't have as much confidence that he's going to get all the way back over a 140. I think he's going to kind of be somewhere in the middle, around a 130. Now, his value comes with his slugging. Big power, big barrel rate, lots of home runs, and a big launch angle. Concerns with that, of course, are the strikeouts, his overall athleticism, his speed, and his defense. Again, most first basemen struggle with these things. It's not that big a deal, but it is something that you have to note a little bit. Now, what is concerning, though, is that no projection has him hitting more than 30 home runs. Now, I disagree greatly with these projections, but if the projections are correct and he doesn't hit 30 home runs, I think he's in big trouble because that's just such a big part of how he gains his value. If I'm not getting 30 home runs and getting a guy who strikes out a lot and getting a guy who plays bad defense and doesn't have speed, I'm getting a little bit concerned there. But like I said, I don't really agree with the projections. I do think he's going to hit those home runs. I expect 30 plus from him, 130 WRC plus, ending up first baseman number 7 in 2026. The number 6 first baseman for the 2026 season is Freddie Freeman. He's just found the fountain of youth apparently. He's still playing great. He had a 139 WRC plus in 2025 and 3.9 WAR, which is the highest of any first baseman that we've talked about on this list. Now, when you look at his stats, his expected stats, like expected slugging, expected WOBA, they're a lot lower. His bat speed, his barrel rate, his hard hit percentage, all low in comparison to everybody else that we see kind of around him on this list. But that said, he hasn't turned in a season with less than 135 WRC plus since like 2016. And he hasn't had good bat speed or expected stats in many years, but yet he keeps doing it. He's just a great hitter. And at some point, the age will start to catch up to him. But the fact is, it hasn't caught up yet. So I can't just predict that he's going to fall off a cliff in 2026. He's 36, he just put up 3.9 WAR and hit 295 last year. My projection is he drops just a little bit down to a 3.5 WAR, and that puts him right here on this list. That's a higher projected WAR than we've seen from the other guys on this list. That's why we have him right here. Now our number 5 first baseman for the 2026 season is Pete Alonso, now of the Baltimore Orioles. He had a great 2025 season with 38 home runs and a 141 WRC+. Throughout his career, he's been consistently between a 120 WRC+ and a 140 WRC+. He's got consistent power, he's got consistent clutch, and overall has just had so much consistent output throughout his career. Bad defense, again, it's first base, not the biggest deal. But our number 4 first baseman is Matt Olson of the Atlanta Braves. Alonso had a 141 WRC+ last year, and Matt Olson had a 138. I don't think a lot of people realize that Matt Olson was that close. Olson is also the best defensive first baseman in the league. He led all first basemen in WAR in 2025, and he's had 4 straight years of playing 162 games. His WRC+ ranges from 117 to 160, so we see his floor is a little bit lower offensively than what Pete Alonso's floor is, but his ceiling, we've seen him be a significantly better offensive player than we've ever seen Pete Alonso in his best years. Now, he has had 29 home runs the past 2 seasons, but his average exit velocity and his hard hit percentage are still elite, which makes me think that those home runs are going to bounce back up over 30. And like I said, he led all first basemen in WAR with just 29 home runs. Imagine how good he's going to be if he gets over 30 home runs again in 2026. Now, the number 3 first baseman for the 2026 season, I have Bryce Harper of the Philadelphia Phillies. I know a lot of people really think that Bryce Harper is washed up. His best days are behind him. Some may say he's no longer an elite player. I don't know if I'm ready to buy that yet. Bryce had a down year in 2025, or I guess that's what people are calling it. I mean, a down year by his standards is a 130 WRC+. Now that he's had a full offseason to get healthy again, I think Bryce Harper can get back up into that 140 WRC+ range. He plays really good defense, and he's been a consistently great hitter throughout his whole career. And so when we look at Bryce Harper, I think the floor for him is higher than everybody else offensively, other than maybe like Freddie Freeman at this point. But the ceiling for Bryce Harper, I think, is still a really, really good player, maybe even in that MVP conversation. And so it's that floor-ceiling combination that puts him this high on this list. Now, our number 2 first baseman on our list is Nick Kurtz of the Athletics. Now, this one is hard, but in his time on the field last year, he was by far the best first baseman in the league. But that said, it was just his rookie year. I mean, we're about 100 games into his MLB career. It's too early to say this is his level of play and this is what we should expect from him. But how much less do we expect from him, really? I mean, he played at an MVP pace for 117 games, and we've never seen him play at a level lower than that. So he's a massive wild card for the 2026 season. But the number 1 first baseman on our list is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. of the Toronto Blue Jays. We know that Vladdy can play elite ball. He has the MVP level in his tank. He's still one of the best young hitters in the game, obviously just 26 years old, still in his prime. And just for comparison, Nick Kurtz just finished his age 22 season. He had 4.6 WAR. Vladdy in his age 22 season put up 6.3 WAR. And Vladdy has played over 155 games every year since 2021. I love his approach. He's a smart hitter. He just hits hard line drives all over the field. Honestly, if we're looking to poke holes in his game, I don't think it gets much worse than what we saw from him in 2025. I think this is pretty much his floor. Like I said, this is his prime. He's 26 years old. This is the age where we're going to see the best years of his career. I expect big things from Vladdy in 2026. So that concludes our list of first basemen. Make sure to follow and come back tomorrow for our top 10 second basemen.